I wish we could live in space.
Me too. It's incredible out there.
How exactly can we live in space?
Easy. Just get some supplies like a tent, food, and water. Oh, and don't forget soap to always keep squeaky clean.
Sounds interesting. I'll keep that in mind.
I'm pretty sure it's way more complicated than that.
Then how can we live in space?
Easy. Google it.
That's
the best idea ever!
So smart.
It's genius.
Here it says, to live in space, everything needs to be taken from Earth. This means that the astronauts have to conserve resources such as... No! The information just stopped!
Calm down. Don't get yourself tied up in a knot.
It says to click on this link to find out more.
What would I do without you guys?
This website says, living in space, everything needs to be taken there from Earth. This means astronauts have to conserve resources such as food, water, and waste needs to be kept to a minimum.
Hey guys, look at that ad. It says, want to learn how to become a professional astronaut? Then buy the pocket guide for astronauts.
That's perfect. Click on it.
Okay. What? It's $500.
That is way too expensive.
Okay then, if two of us put in $150 and one of us puts in $200, we'll have enough money to order one.
That's a great idea.
Sounds good.
One pocket guide for astronauts coming up.
1 hour later.
It should be here any minute now.
2 hours later.
I bet it's on its way.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Guys, I don't think it's going to come.
Hello, package for Yolanda, Elysia, and Amelia.
Looks like you spoke too soon.
I'll get it. Here it is. Yolanda, would you like to start reading first?
Yes, I would. In this pocket guide to becoming an astronaut, we will inform you on living in space and the other things you will need to know.
Ooh, sounds interesting. These are the basics of what you need to know. To start off, you will need to know personal hygiene.
Brushing teeth. Astronauts brush their teeth the normal way you do, but there is a difference. Everything floats around. The toothpaste astronauts use can be swallowed after brushing, which is why it's called edible toothpaste. Astronauts have to brush with their mouth as closed as possible to prevent the toothpaste floating out. I never knew that.
Showering. Astronauts do not shower, but instead use liquid soap, water, and rinseless shampoo.
Astronauts use damp sponges and cloths to clean themselves. Why don't they just have showers?
Because the water would just float away. Going to the toilet. So if everything floats in space, then how do you go to the toilet? Guys, get this. Astronauts have to strap themselves in to prevent floating off. Instead of a flush toilet, there is a suction tube which carries the waste away in an air stream down a hole. Then the solids get compressed and stored for later disposal.
How do astronauts keep fit?
Read the next bit of information.
Keeping fit. On Earth, even when you stand still, you resist gravity and support your body with your muscles and bones to maintain posture. In space, however, there's almost no gravity and no need for muscles and bones to support your body. So if you don't exercise, your muscles and bones will weaken. The astronauts have to anchor themselves firmly or they would drift away. Even using the computer becomes difficult. Spacewalks can be exhausting and put unusual strain on the muscles.
This means that astronauts have to take their time to exercise and keep themselves fit and healthy to carry out their job and to return to Earth in good shape. On board the ship, there is a treadmill and an exercise bicycle without tires. The astronauts have to do at least 2 hours of exercise per day to keep in good shape. Here's a cool joke. What do astronauts listen to while they exercise? Neptunes.
Getting around. Astronauts mostly use their hands to get around, pulling themselves where they need to go. Astronauts have a safety cord that connects them to the ship. In case of an emergency, such as an astronaut losing their connection to the spaceship, the spacesuit comes with a jetpack. Why did the cow want to become an astronaut?
I don't know.
Why?
so she could see the Milky Way.
My turn. Sleeping. Sleeping in space requires that astronauts sleep in a crew cabin, a small room about the size of a telephone booth. They lie in a sleeping bag which is strapped to the wall. That's amazing! Imagine sleeping strapped to a wall.
How crazy!
Food and eating. The food is specially prepared because weightlessness requires adjustments to prevent the food from floating off a plate. Some types of food must also be eaten to counter the effects of adaptation to the space environment. Food and eating. The food is specially prepared because the weightlessness requires adjustments to prevent the food from floating off a plate. Some types of food must also be eaten to counter the effects of adaptation to the space environment.
The food trays are prepared on the ground for each astronaut and delivered to the spaceship before the astronauts arrive. The food has to be specially treated so that it can last a long time and is low mass.
I wonder what food astronauts eat.
Read the next bit of text then.
Types of food for astronauts. Rehydratable foods. Water is removed to make the food easier to store, also known as freeze drying. On board, water is replaced in the foods before eaten.
This call is to inform you three that you have been chosen for the Young Astronauts of the Year for your knowledge and skills and curiosity.
Is this
and you will
Miss
be boarding the
Elysia,
next
Amelia,
NASA
and Yolanda?
spaceship.
Yes,
Where's
it
the
is.
soap?
Fresh food.
You
such
know
as apples
where.
and bananas,
Where?
often fresh
Check the
that was
room.
brought up by new crews. Natural form foods such as nuts and cookies.
Are we professional astronauts yet? Thermostabilized foods. Heat processed foods which can then be stored at a room temperature. Irradiated foods. Most of beef products are cooked and packaged in flexible foil pouches and sterilized by ionizing radiation so they can be kept at a room temperature.
Fresh foods such as apples and bananas, often fresh supplies brought up by new crews. Natural foods from such as nuts, cookies, and what is that?
No, don't stop.